There are several important benefits to participating in a clinical trial for treatments of peritoneal mesothelioma. Clinical trials play a vital role in developing and improving treatments for cancer patients. While a clinical trial may not provide direct medical benefit, participants could potentially gain access to new therapies not yet available outside of a clinical trial and help future patients. One of the major benefits is getting access to new treatments that are not yet available to the public. Clinical trials are generally the only way to gain access to new drugs, procedures, surgery techniques or devices before they are approved for general use. For peritoneal mesothelioma, a rare cancer with very limited treatment options, clinical trials offer patients the opportunity to potentially receive cutting-edge therapies that may provide better outcomes than existing standard treatments. Some trials are specifically testing new targeted drugs, immunotherapy approaches, or cytotoxic chemotherapy combinations that show promise based on early research but are not commercially available. Participating in a clinical trial also allows patients to help advance the development of new treatments. All cancer patients benefit when others volunteer to participate in clinical trials. Clinical research progresses our medical understanding and develops improved options for patients based on the data collected. By contributing to clinical studies, patients help researchers determine if an experimental therapy is safe and effective, which leads to FDA drug approvals and advances patient care overall. Even if the experimental therapy does not directly benefit the participant, their involvement still brings us closer to finding more effective answers for other current and future patients battling this deadly disease. The medical care delivered as part of clinical trials is often closely monitored by an experienced team of specialists. Treatment is administered under the supervision of study physicians and medical staff. Patients in trials receive very careful follow-up and close monitoring, which can enable side effects from experimental therapies to be detected early. This close supervision and high medical standards inherent to clinical research may provide patients more comprehensive and attentive care than what is available in some standard treatment settings. Any potential side effects or complications from new therapies are often more carefully managed through clinical trial protocols versus approved drugs being used in normal practice. Participation also gives patients the opportunity to receive the standard of care for their disease while trying an experimental treatment. Many Phase 3 clinical trials for peritoneal mesothelioma compare a new therapy combined with standard treatment versus standard treatment alone. This allows patients to receive standard chemotherapy, immunotherapy or surgery but also potentially gain the added benefit of an investigational drug, procedure or approach. Even if the experimental therapy does not help, standard care is still being received. Additionally, in some single-arm Phase I/II clinical trials, an experimental therapy may represent the best available option when limited or no standard treatment exists for a rare cancer type. The extensive clinical and laboratory testing involved with clinical trials can provide valuable information about disease prognosis and treatment response. Patients receive very close medical monitoring including radiographic imaging, biopsy sampling and lab testing to closely track their disease state and response to therapy over time. This type of detailed tracking provides patients and their doctors knowledge about how their cancer is behaving and responding that may not be available otherwise. It also contributes important data that increases medical understanding. When standard therapies are not providing full disease response, clinical trials give patients and physicians insights into what treatment approaches may be most promising to pursue in the future. There are also potential and direct medical benefits from clinical trial participation. Clinical research staff are generally very experienced and up-to-date on the latest advances, bringing specialized expertise to a patient's care. They aim to assess and report all treatment responses thoroughly. This can sometimes enable smaller responses or disease stabilizations to be identified that may not have been confirmed without the rigorous trial protocols. Additionally, the multidisciplinary teams involved often include specialized medical experts including oncologists, surgeons and other specialists, allowing patients to access concentrated expertise that improves care quality. Identifying any other health issues or previously undiagnosed conditions is also more likely within a clinical trial's extensive testing environment. One should also note that participating in research is fulfillment for some. Patients find it meaningful and satisfying to contribute to advancing medical knowledge and future treatment development during such a serious illness. They feel they can make a positive impact and help others battling similar cancers. The commitment involved with closely following trial procedures also provides structure and a focus during treatment that many patients value. Interacting with the clinical research coordinators, physicians and fellow participants likewise allows for valuable mutual understanding and support. Overall, while there are no guarantees of direct medical benefit, participating in clinical trials for peritoneal mesothelioma offers patients valuable potential access to investigational therapies not otherwise available and an opportunity to help advance future treatment outcomes. It provides attentive specialty care overseen by experienced experts and insight into disease response tailored to each individual. The research contributions made through trial participation will accelerate the discovery and approval of improved options for this devastatingly rare tumor type. For appropriately selected candidates, enrollment provides important benefits worth considering at a time when limited standard options exist.